everybody and welcome back to my channel, and wherever you are in the world, whether you're old or new, I'm wishing each and every one of you a grand day rising. So today's topic is a very new cheese to the market made with raw milk, and it's called Raedwald. Now, this is the baby of Fen Farm Dairy, a raw milk producer in Bungay, Suffolk, which is run by Johnny and Dulcie Crickmore and their family. So why did they decide then to make a new cheese? Well, back in 2021, they realised that they needed to find a good way of using up the surplus of rich high cream milk that their Montbéliard cows produce in the depth of winter after Christmas. When sales of their first cheese, which is highly successful and award-winning multiple times, Baron Bigod, dwindle for a time. I have some Baron Bigod here. This I bought for Dan to enjoy. It's similar to a brie. Now, they always put on the packaging the full details, and also included is on the back the tasting, so the best time to eat it according to your preference. The age is always on the barcode label, so you refer to the batch number, and this is a 250 gram cheese, and this is £10. It was £7, but it's gone up recently, just like everything else has gone up. If you don't want to eat it straight away, then you can allow it to ripen some more. Some people prefer a younger cheese. I prefer a younger cheese. Others, like Dan, prefer a riper cheese. So if you want a firm texture, which has a lemony flavour, you eat it at 3 to 4 weeks. If you want a firm centre with gooey edges, earthy, mushroom, savoury flavours, eat at 4 to 5 weeks of age. If you want it gooey or through, pungent farmyard full flavours, eat at 5 weeks of age and older. And it tells you as well how to store the cheese, keep it well wrapped. The cheese will not mature further once frozen. It is freezable. Bring it to room temperature 30 minutes to 2 hours before eating. This has been out of the fridge 30 minutes. This is very ripe because that's how Dan likes it. And I don't know if you can see, but look how gooey that is there. That's very gooey. That's far too strong for me. It's very, very strong flavour now. That's how he likes them. Anyway, there is a video you can go and watch about the making of Raedwald. I will endeavour to put the link up on the screen so you can do that. But I will break down anyway what it says in the video and also from the newsletters I receive. Now, it's just the end of the Raedwald season and it's been flying out of the farm shop. Now, we didn't try it. When it came out onto the market in January this year, it was £38 for a truckle. And I didn't have £38. This was, of course, shortly after I did my £20 food challenge. Like everybody, we're feeling the pinch a little. Dan's self-employed and work at times has been a little up and down. We've also had 1 or 2 non-payments of work undertaken, but that's part and parcel of life as a self-employed. And my sales down at the PLE have also been a little slow for a while now, although I've just had my latest sales statement and it is looking healthier. It's been a difficult winter for many, especially in East Thanet, where we already have at least 17% of the population on or below the breadline. So let's explore the timeline. So the Crickmore family needed to make a cheese that wouldn't introduce unwanted mould types into their cheese building, which could affect the quality of Baron Bigod. But that was different enough from Baron Bigod that it wouldn't affect the sales of the Baron. You don't want 2 cheeses very similar competing against each other. So that's good business acumen. On a study tour of the French Savoy region with a group of fellow British cheesemakers, Johnny Crickmore was fortunate enough to visit some of the best reblochon makers in France, many of whom never sell their cheeses outside of the Savoy. The flavours of these cheeses blew Johnny's mind and he became determined to create something of this quality on the farm. If you've never tried reblochon, it's delicious. We buy occasionally from the delicatessen at the Good Shed in Canterbury. So if you want to try it and you're in the East Kent area, a trip to the Good Shed is well worth it. Once again, their wonderful Montbéliard cows came to the rescue. The Monty is one of the most popular breeds for making reblochon and many other famous cheeses in France. To help get them started, they called on their old friend and French cheese technologist, Yvan Larcher, who had helped them to develop their first cheese, Baron Bigod, 10 years previously. Yvan joined head cheesemaker Mark and his team in September 2023, and together they made the first trial batches of Raedwald at Fen Farm. Reblochon is a cheese that is very much associated with winter and cooking and melting in the skiing season. In fact, tartiflette, a melting dish made with baked reblochon, potatoes, onions, bacon and cream, is one of the most popular après-ski meals in France. One of the main concerns was serving the farm but also the season. They have a lot of emphasis on seasonality. It's about juggling when the cows calve, because they peak in lactation and gradually go down. Baron Bigod is very busy in the months up to Christmas and less busy at the beginning of the new year. There's always a period where there is a surplus amount of milk. What Fen Farm love about the old cheeses is that they were done for a reason. Some of the recipes mixed afternoon milk with morning milk. So they were made to fit in with a farming family and to use up all that beautiful milk. The idea was thus celebrating the time of the year with the cheese they make. In March 2024, Mark had an unsuccessful first batch. It splodged out too much. People were on holiday and the mechanics of the brine tank were challenging his patience. In June 2024, the testing began. The target was January 2025 for the rollout of the new cheese. The same cheese must be tasted week after week. If it has full flavour at 14 days, it is peaking too early. They had to record the flavour profile week by week. And when they did this, it had all the characteristics of Reblochon. And that includes the shape and the rind. In October 2024, they had to try and find a name for this new cheese. Dulcie Crickmore took her inspiration from local history. For example, Baron Bigod was named after a local historical figure. So with the second cheese, they thought they'd do something similar. Now, Raedwald was the Anglo-Saxon king of early Suffolk and Norfolk between 599 and 624 AD. His story is shrouded in mystery, but archaeologists believe they may have found his tomb at the stunningly beautiful site of Sutton Hoo on the nearby Suffolk coast, not too far from Fen Farm. Curiosity led Edith and Basil to excavate the largest of a collection of mysterious grassy mounds in one of Edith's fields. Inside, they found the remains of an important pagan burial, a beautiful timber longship, weapons and jewels fit for a king, items gifted from far-flung lands, and pieces of an ornate battle helmet. The helmet has become the iconic symbol of King Raedwald and was Fen Farm's inspiration for the logo of Raedwald cheese. It was drawn by artist Gemma Wiseman, who created the cow on their Baron Bigod box. There's the cow look. Can you see? The pastures grazed by their cows would have been part of Raedwald's once kingdom of the East Angles. The flavours and aromas of this cheese tell a story of the ancient landscape. Now, Fen Farm lies in a sheltered basin marsh at the toe end of the Broadland waterways. If you take the journey on foot southeast towards Sutton Hoo, you will cross miles of fertile growing land to enter patches of cool woodlands, deep spinneys of hazel, chestnut, oak. You will circumnavigate reedy marshlands resonant with the booming of bitterns, and eventually, as you near the coast, you will encounter sprawling copses of woodland marching across high heathlands, whipped by briny sea air and occasionally tumbling over eroded cliffs to be smashed by the mud-brown North Sea and bleached to silver skeletons by the sun. What beautiful terminology. Oh. For anyone who has visited coastal Suffolk, Dan and I have, walked the heathlands, smelt the briny sea air and deep cool woodland smells, we hope you will recognise a little of this in the flavours and aromas of the Raedwald cheese. Nuts, brine, fungi, cool air, woodiness and the roasted meats reminiscent of the fire pit cookery that would have been rife in Anglo-Saxon England. So that's a nice little story from Fen Farm. So now they've got the title, what about the packaging? They have a little Union Jack on the packaging where you might see a French flag. The writing around the edge of the wrapper, which usually has the name, is the tasting notes. There is also, of course, the Sutton Hoo Raedwald mask motif and a flavour wheel on the back of the packaging. In December 2024, Ivan returned to give his verdict after around 16 months of trials, from the conception right through to the tweaking. he wanted to make sure that the final process and recipe didn't impinge on Baron Bigod. Then it was a matter to start washing and maturing and getting the cheese ready for its launch date. And thus in January 2025, Raedwald was finally launched with a certain amount of pomp. But then, so it should be, it's artisan cheese made with natural ingredients, the traditional, or some might say the old-fashioned way. Jamie Oliver has said great things about Baron Bigod, and I am sure in the future he will say great things about Raedwald as well. But tell me, have you tried Baron Bigod by Fen Farm? Have you tried Raedwald, the new cheese by Fen Farm? Is raw cheese something you would be prepared to pay a premium for? Is it something you think you would enjoy? Or are you concerned about the use of raw milk in products? I would be interested to hear your thoughts and comments, but I think I will save up over the next few months, and then perhaps when the Raedwald is rolled out again next winter, I will treat Dan to some, maybe as a late Christmas present. Anyway, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, share, subscribe. I'm always appreciative of that. And ding the notification bell and all that good stuff. And I will see you again soon for the next one. Until then, bye for now.